Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island nuclear incidents. Pretty much the same, right? Wrong! I'm going to cover the top 3 differences. Number 1, casualties. 3 Mile Island had not only 0 casualties, but 0 people even harmed. Even the long-term effects of 3 Mile Island aren't really clear, but if you ask the company, they said no one got sick at all. Yay, capitalism! Chernobyl had at least 30 people die in the immediate aftermath of the incident, mostly because they sent out firemen to try and put out the fire, which is like taking a garden hose to the surface of the sun. Not a good idea. Likely hundreds to thousands more people died due to radiation poisoning and cancer in the long-term effects. Cause of the failures. On 3 Mile Island, at least 3 different pieces of equipment had failed, and the operators were not trained for multiple failure points at once, only for a single point failure. Also, the control room did a pretty crappy job of showing what was actually going on in the plant. For example, a maintenance tag was over one of the key indicators that could have solved things pretty quick. In Chernobyl, the failure was largely because the design of the reactor sucked. The complete shutoff mechanism of the reactor actually temporarily spiked the power in the plant, which in turn blew the lid off when they were doing a safety test. Even furthering the point, the Chernobyl reactor didn't even have a containment structure underneath the reactor. For example, the nuclear reactor at 3 Mile Island did have a containment structure. USA! USA! Surprisingly enough, the Chernobyl reactor was actually built about 7 or 8 years after the 3 Mile Island reactor was built. I guess they just suck. My third point's the lasting impact. Chernobyl's meltdown had the reactor completely exposed to the environment. The reactor was spewing out millions of terabecquerels of radiation into the atmosphere. Terabecquerels is apparently the unit used to quantify radiation. Terabecquerels, look it up. Overall, it was a significant accident. It cost about $235 billion to clean up. It also is one of the contributors to the collapse of the Soviet Union. Whoops-a-doodle. 3 Mile Island in comparison almost had no radioactive material released into the atmosphere. However, the PR handling of the incident was absolutely awful. In the first press conference after the accident happened, they literally had 2 different people come up saying, there is no radiation that has been released from the nuclear power plant. Then one of the engineers comes up and says, there has been some radiation released into the atmosphere. That kind of broke the public's trust. From there on, it was just a downward spiral, until literally the president had to come and fix things. This PR mishandling did have a lasting impact on the stigma around nuclear power. Overall, both disasters were pretty bad. However, Chernobyl's actual radioactive incident was of a different weight class. For more history, check out the Historical Blunders Pod.